Hey y'all, it's TJ with Roller Skate Universe and Jam Physics out here at a skate park to do something just a little bit different. So stay tuned and check it out. So all of my local rinks are currently closed at the moment, but I really needed to get this content out there. And that is testing these Rollerbones Teams wheels. I'm gonna be testing the 101A, which are these blue ones, which are discontinued color, and also I have a set of green 98A. Before I do that, why don't we go ahead and go over why I'm out here at a skate park, even though I don't park skate at all? Well, the answer is very simple. The concrete here is polished. You see the shine to all of it? And that is the closest we can get at the moment to a rink floor. Also, we're gonna be doing a little bit of myth busting about outdoor wheels. But before we get to that, I need you to hit that like and subscribe button and be sure to share this thing because a lot goes into this stuff and nobody's talking about the stuff I cover. So be sure to hit those buttons. And my apologies in advance. I'm dealing with somebody running a lawnmower in the background. Now let's talk a little bit about outdoor wheels. Outdoor wheels. And also what their uses are and what the recommendations are versus the reality of it. The truth of the matter is everybody recommends a 78 to 84A wheel for outdoor, which makes sense. It really does make sense when you consider the surfaces that they're being recommended for, which is usually a really textured, heavily textured surface like asphalt and rough concrete, things like that. But when you're dealing with stuff like this, it's shiny and it's smooth, like completely polished. This here, yeah, you do not need a wheel that soft for it. So if people are telling you, yeah, you still need this because it's outdoors, because, just because it's outdoors, that's wrong. In fact, you can go harder, no matter what your body size or weight or height or anything like that is. You can go harder on a wheel if your surfaces are super duper smooth like this. The blanket statement of, yeah, you automatically have to have 78 to 84A wheels to skate outside by default is garbage. And it's also used by manufacturers just to sell you more crap. Another interesting conundrum we have going on right now in roller skating is how so many people are out here trying the exact same thing over and over and over again, and they're expecting different results. One of the best examples of that is when people are using the Moxie gummy wheels and things like that, and then they go and they buy another wheel that's between 70 and 84A or whatever, and they're expecting this tremendous life-changing difference in that, and they're not getting it and they don't understand why. Really, it's the same thing all across the board. They might be different formulas, but they're the same hardness. Heck, even the shapes are similar. If I could give my honest advice about wheels and what wheels to use, I would recommend that everybody runs the hardest wheels they can get away with without sacrificing grip. That is probably the best thing that I can tell you. A 78A outside doesn't mean it's going to do everything tremendously well. In fact, when you get on a surface like this, it's actually going to bunch up and bind up in the front face of the wheel as it rolls even more than a textured surface where it would fill in those pockets while you roll. Which means you are literally doing double the work for half the result. But that's enough of that rant. Why don't we go ahead and get started on our test? We're gonna go ahead and start off with the 101A Rollerbones Teams. And let's go ahead and give ourselves a little bit of a push. You can see it's a slight downhill, but that's all right. Really, 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 really low rolling resistance from these. Like they just go and go and go and go, which is great. Going down, small transition. And hey, why don't we just hit the quarter pipe for fun? Hey, all right. Like that wasn't bad at all. And again, really low rolling resistance out of these. Really, not bad. Well, let's check the grip threshold on them a little bit. Oh yeah, you can get a nice hockey stop out of them. Again, we're gonna go down this transition right here. Whoop. Get us a little bit of that quarter pipe. Hey, not bad. By the way, disclaimer, I do not park skate. I haven't park skated technically since about 2003. It's just kind of like a bicycle. Once you learn how to do it, you never quite forget. So I do not claim to be a park skater. I'm not advocating these for park use, but I could absolutely use them for park use and not even lose a wink of sleep. Overall, not bad. Real fast. I like it. And again, the level of control you get out of these things, because you do have the ability to keep all your speed. So the cool thing about running a harder wheel is you get to preserve all your energy, or at least 90% of it. It's really cool. You know, these things just roll, roll, and roll. Another quarter pipe. Not bad. But also the upside to running these things is, you know, you can definitely hockey stop in them. All right, now for round two, we have the Rollerbones Team 98A. This color is still made. Again, these were discontinued. Good luck finding them. If you can, great. I know it took me a while to find them, like a year or two. But these are the 98A. So this is just a little bit softer. You're still gonna get almost just as much roll as the 101 with just a little hint of grip. And we're gonna show you what that's like in just a second. And we're back. These are the 98A Rollerbones Teams. And we're about ready to check these things out in just a minute. But before we do that, I just want to, I want to caveat on something real quick that I said earlier. You know, I understand that my channel is a little bit basic and I don't really do a lot of the coolest edits or have the greatest shots or anything like that. One thing that definitely separates our channel apart from everybody else is that I'm not a bench skater. So I do not do what factories tell me to do. I do not run things that factories tell me to run for the ways that I skate. I don't skate the way people tell me to. I don't really fit into a whole lot of categories for stuff, you know. So again, the reason I say that is to say this: the things that I show you may not always go along with what the majority is telling you to do. One of the best examples is what wheels to run in a park. They run a lot of A-profile, you know, skateboard style wheels in the park and things like that. I'm just here to tell you, you do not have to do that. They will tell you, you know, you have to run between this durometer and this durometer in a park. You do not have to do that. In fact, if you like being able to cut loose and, you know, do a hockey stop somewhere or something, or if you want to add that to something as maybe a style, things like that, then by all means go harder than what's being recommended, or you know, or maybe just go softer or whatever and enjoy a little bit of roll resistance, because sometimes that is a tool. So now we're going to go ahead and get into what the 98 is like comparably to the 101. All right, again, we're going to be on that slight downhill. That's just the way they made this small park. We're in Live Oak, Texas, at their community park, and they built this a couple of years ago. And it's not a bad little place. Not a bad little place at all. It's a little strip, it's curved, but it's cool. It's better than what we had, which was nothing at all. All right, so let's go ahead and get going. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take a push, and we're gonna check the rolling resistance of these. And honestly, it isn't too much different from the 101A, but I will be honest with you, it does feel like it's starting to pull back a little bit and slow down, despite the fact that we're on a downhill. Now, let's go ahead and make our way to the quarter pipe here. Now, a little bit of shock absorption out of these, a little bit of shock absorption. That's the upside to running a softer wheel, is there's some shock absorption. Now that we're at the other end, we're gonna go ahead and try to do that hockey stop. Oh, yeah, definitely took a lot more resistance in order to do that. A lot more resistance to be able to do that. So you could tell just those 3 points durometer from 98 to 101 is a big difference. We're heading back to the quarter pipe again. Let's go ahead and see what we do. Woo! Hopefully it caught that. But you can also hear when it hits the ground how silent it is, how much more of a dull thud that becomes. And of course, if this was even a softer wheel, yeah, that's a lot harder. There's a lot more resistance against this. If this was a lot softer wheel, it wouldn't be as percussive sounding. You remember when the 101s would hit the ground earlier, they would actually have a very, very loud and percussive sound to them. Very, very loud click-clack, you know? Let's see here. But overall, it's not a bad wheel. Heck, I would use this for park. This is pretty good. And I weigh 165 pounds. And, you know, this 98, this works pretty well for me. I really do like the 101 because I can hold speed. I can hold a higher speed for longer, so it's less effort. This is definitely a wheel that I would use if I just planned on spending a couple hours out here. But if I wanted to spend like all day out here, I would run the harder wheel so I can cut down on fatigue and I could last longer out here. But there you go. These are the Rollerbones Team 98 and 101A wheels. Big shout out to Vanilla Skate Company. Thank you for giving me these test beds. It is a Sunlight, which is built in the USA. Thank you, Vanilla and RC Sports. And a Vanilla V-Line. I really, really, really love this boot. It is super light and very affordable and really well built. And also I'm on Speedmaster ABEC 7 bearings. They are 7mm because I opted for the 7mm axle option because they were all out of 8mm in stock at the time, and I am definitely not scared to run a 7mm. I got all these wheels right here from skatecloseouts.com, which Rebecca Speedyrella Shepherd owns here locally in San Antonio. She had a few sets of them that were used, so of course I purchased those as quickly as I could just to do this test. This is TJ with Roller Skate Universe and Jam Physics. Happy skating.